Hello friends, my name is Radha. Today we'll discuss about the topic status report. Friend, this is an important topic with respect to project management, PMI or PMBOK, project management body of knowledge. This is a very important topic. Friend, if we talk about with respect to exam point of view, if you're studying project management in university or planning to give exam of PMP, so friend, the status report is a very important topic and you will see this topic in the exam. However, friend, more than an exam point of view, if you are a professional project manager and already working as a project manager in any organization, so as a practical implementation or as a professional project manager, this is very important that you must know that how to make the status report, what is its importance, and how we can use this tool to monitor and control the project. Okay, so this is a very important tool with respect to execution and with respect to monitoring and controlling of a project. So friend, let's start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell option as well so that my new videos can reach to you. So let's start. Status report. First of all, friend, we have to understand that in which context basically we are talking right now. Basically friend, status report, we are talking right now about the project management context, project management point of view. For example, you are implementing a project of e-commerce and you have to report to your management and your customer as well that at which point project stands. First of all, we have to understand what is a project. Friend, project as per the definition, project is a temporary activity which has some beginning and ending point. It has some unique output and product, that is called as project. Okay, with respect to definition of a project, for example, if you are implementing an e-commerce solution for a customer and you have to implement it in the 4 months, like in the within the 4 months you have to implement, and the end of the product you will hand over the e-commerce solution to customer. So friend, that will called as the project. Now friend, if you can understand the concept of a project, we need the status report. Why we need the status report, friend? Basically what happens that whenever a project starts, like multiple stakeholders involved in a project, some stakeholder, as per the definition, stakeholder means that who the person who has some positive or negative share in the project, positively or negatively. Okay, remember one thing, maybe some person has positive interest, maybe some person has negative interest. Why? What does it mean? That means friend, for example, few person wants that project should be implemented successfully. However, there are some person as well who doesn't want that the project successfully complete. Why? Because everyone has their own interest, has their own background. Okay, so due to that reasons, stakeholders by definition are the person who has positive or negative interest in a project. That is called as the definition of a stakeholder. Now friend, status report means that report at which through which you can communicate the status of a project to your management, to the customer. Actually, when we are executing the project, everyone wants to know that what is going on, how we are progressing. So friend, basically when we are making the status report, we are describing the status of a project as per the project plan. Okay, where we stand, what are the issues, what are the risks we are facing, what are the things which we have already accomplished, how far we are behind from the schedule, and what are the things which are remaining, what are our next action items. So all these sorts of things we have to mention in the status report. The purpose of making the status report is that friend, we want that everyone should have to be on the same page, everyone knows that actually where we stand, what actually we are doing actually. So friend, a status report is very important, and a status report is a simple document. You can imagine this as a word document as well, that exists between the project manager, the client and the internal team to periodically update everyone to where the project is in relation to where it should be at that point in time. Basically friend, a status report means that it describes that as per the project plan, these things should be completed. Either these things are completed or not. As a project manager, you should have to be a neutral person. Neutral person mean, friend, that if there are few things bad, if there are some issues from your side or from customer side, you must have to mention, these issues in the status report. Okay, friend, remember one thing, that you should not have to be a biased person. Like, it should not happen that like you always try to highlight the issues in the customer side. Like, this should not be happen. You should have to be a neutral person. Whatever the issues, whatever the actual facts about the status of a project, you should have to mention in the status report. Remember one thing, that you should not be like, if there is any accomplishments from the team, you should have to mention. If there are some issues, you should have to mention. Like, you should have to be a neutral, behave like a neutral person. Whatever the issues, whatever the problems, you should have to communicate it clearly through the status report. Well, remember one thing, friend, if you communicate straight, your life will be straight. If you communicate like uh, rounding off the things and hiding the things, it will create a problem for you as well. Okay, then next one is that, friend, why status report important? Friend, the status report is basically a tool of communication through which you communicate the status of a project to everyone, like customer, internal team, senior management. Like, everyone, customer wants to know that actually what happens this week, things completed or not completed. If things are not completing, like any issues are there, you should have to communicate it to the customer that these issues are coming. Like, for example, their stakeholders are not available. Like, for example, you ask for some particular data which is not available. So all these sorts of things, you should have to communicate it to the customer clearly. Secondly, friend, when you communicate, when you send the status report, so everyone would get on single page. Everyone knows that what's happening. See, friend, here, if you as a project manager is not communicating, someone else will be communicating. And what will happen, maybe he positively communicate, or maybe he negatively communicate. So if as a project manager you communicate it through the status report, it will have a positive impact, because everyone wants to listen from the project manager that what's going on, what are the issues, where we stand, are we on the track, are we off track, etc, etc. So whatever the status, you should have to mention it clearly through the status report. The main purpose why we want to make a status report, we want to communicate the status of a project, so that everyone should have to be on a single page. Okay, on a single page, so that everyone knows that what's happening, and they don't need to ask from other person. They just see the project status report, and they get to know that actually what's happening and what's going on, the exact facts about the status of a project. Friend, what should be included in the status report? First of all, friend, whatever we are discussing, just keep in your mind all these things. Honestly, there's no specific hard and fast template of a status report. First of all, the name of a project you have to mention. The you have to use some sort of indicators in a project status report, like project is on track, for example, green for on track, risk for red, and off track for yellow. So these sorts of indicators, color indicators, you can use. Summary of a report, summary of a project, you should have to mention. Any particular milestones you have to mention, highlight it. Overall, the key areas you have to mention. If there are any specific links are there, so you can use the links, link the document and tools. For example, project plan, you can just put a link of a project plan in the status report. If there are any issues and problems or roadblockers are there, you should have to mention it. Any additional notes, highlights, you should have to mention. For example, basically, friend, remember one thing, there is no specific hard and fast template, a specific template of a status report. Just the purpose of status report is that you should have to mention the overall status within 1 or 2 page of Word document. You should have to mention the status of a project. Like first of all, what is the status? Project is on track, off track, on risk. You have to mention what is the overall summary of a project, what are the accomplishments we have achieved in this week, what are the issues, what are the risks which we are facing, if there is any particular issue in a project, you should have to mention it clearly. So friend, all these things should be included in a project. Friend, it is just a very simple format, and this is not a very particular format. Just want to show you that the sample status report should be like that, like some indicators, like project is on track, off track, what are the issues, what are the road blockers, what is the progress, what are the things which we have achieved. So friend, in this manner, I just want to show you, just want to give you a idea that how the status report should look like. And remember one thing friend, status report should not be very lengthy document, like it should not be of 8 to 10 page document. It should have to be a 1 or 2 page document, because everyone is busy and everyone doesn't have so much time to read a lengthy document. Also friend, try to use some graphical representation of project plan and something like that, because graphs people like and it's easy to understand and easy to grasp. So friend, I hope you like this video. If you like, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for your time, and that's all from my side. Thank you.